examination of the lumbar spine. Normally start with a general overview and observation. We start looking at if there's any obvious scoliosis, and having a look at lumbar lordosis, kyphosis, and then again lordosis, see if this is exaggerated or not present. Another general observation, look at the levels of the shoulders, position of the scapula, moving down, look at the levels of the iliac crest, gluteal creases, creases behind the knee, and then the position of the both the Achilles tendons. Then we can have a look at the feet, so we'll look for any overpronation, so look then at the arches. Then move to a functional assessment. So we'll normally get the patient to walk up and down, to have a look at their gait, and back up the other end. Observing for any antalgic gait, any obvious neurological disorder from a high stepping gait, foot drop, swinging gait, etc. When they are walking, if you take one step forward, we can feel the activation of the multifidus. We're looking for any increased tone or anything abnormal in the lower paravertebral muscles. With the rest of the functional assessment, if you have a spin round, we then get the patient to do with their feet apart, so we get the patient to do a double-legged squat. Just looking at their ability to control when it brings on any pain, any abnormal muscle, any abnormal movements, or if they're not able to control any unilateral deficit, so we may see either side. Then get them to do a single leg squat, looking for the same things. You can also, if we want to progress this, we can look at their ability to hold a plank position or a side plank, and then following from that, we'll then move on to a more specific examination for the lumbar spine. So if we get the patient to spin around, normally begin, and we'll do some of this prone, but palpating from all the cervical spine, palpating all the spinous processes, all the way down into the lumbar spine, feeling for any tenderness, crepitus, feeling for the paravertebral muscles, feeling for any increased tone, any guarding, any pain as we're palpating. You can also feel for the PSISs, ischial tuberosities, greater trochanters, and generally, if there's any specific region where they are painful, in the midline, we can then palpate either side for the transverse processes as well. We then get the patient to lie on their front, so we can have a better feel specifically over any of the particular bones which are tender, and have a feel for any movement in line with the transverse processes. I need to have a stand up for me. Then have a look at the patient's range of movement. So flexion, you need to bend down towards and touch your toes, and back up to neutral, and all the way back into extension. Looking for pain, quality of movement, range of movement, and then down to the side, the left side. Same, and down to the right side. And then with your hands across, going towards me, and the other way. With each movement, then we can add some overpressure to see if this elicits any pain at the time as well. Okay. Then we get the patient to lay on their back. We'll have a quick assessment of the neurological status, so if they're complaining of pins and needles, weakness, etc. So start with sensation in myotomes, and looking at the dermatomes too. Can you feel me touching you?
Yeah.
Does it feel the same on both sides?
Yeah.
Does it feel the same on both sides?
Yeah.
Hands beneath posteriorly, does it feel the same on both sides?
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's any deficit that we may have elicited, we then want to look at sharp touch and soft touch as well as hot, cold, proprioception, and then the reflexes we consider as well. Can you bring this leg up for me? Keep it there. Testing power. All myotomes. Keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there. With your legs straight. Keep it there. Don't let me push your toes. push me away, and then the big toe specifically. We then repeat on the other side as a comparison to ensure there's no deficit that we picked up. As a general screening tool for neurological states of lower limb, straight leg raise is another option. For keeping the leg straight and bringing it all the way up as high as you can go, looking for any pain, exhibits any pins and needles. If that was found, we could exacerbate that by getting the patient to bend your head forwards, back to neutral, or adding in dorsiflexion. Then obviously consider on both sides. As I said, we want to check for the peripheral pulses, so dorsalis pelvis, posterior tibials, popliteus, and then femorals, if there's any deficits we had identified. If we get the patient to have a stand up now, then we want to have a look at some special tests. So if we get you to face it forwards for me, we can have a look at quadrant testing. So if we get the patient with your feet together, to lean back, fully extend, and then rotate towards me. So looking at stressing the facets, looking for any facet joints or pars involvement, and then to the other side, we can add overpressure as well to try and really elicit this pain. And back to neutral. If you want to screen the SIJ, you can use the stalk test to stand on your 1 foot. Raise your right leg in front of you, so, and back down, looking for any pain, and also for any abnormal movement between both PSISs. Looking to have a seat on the bed. Looking for neurological testing, we can use a slump test. We get you to tuck your head into your chest, straighten this leg, and raise it as far as you come. And then we can add dorsiflexion to see if there's any increased neural tension. Finally, if we get you to have a lay back with your head at this end of the bed, we can use the Thomas test. So when we're looking at the pelvis and the back as a complete complex, then we can have a look at, we'll need you at the end of the bed, side down of it. We're looking for any anterior structural tightness. So bring this knee into into your chest, hug it tight, and we're looking for any raise off the bed, which there is a bit on the contralateral leg. And let's come around and have a stand up, and we can obviously compare for both sides. As with any joint, we always want to consider alternative pathology, so consider for any GU, gastrointestinal, gynecological pathology, history malignancy, etc. And so joints above and below, so the thoracic spine, SIJ, and the hip as well, as whether they're causing pain that we always want to examine as well. Okay.